Well, a couple of days ago, we started making these fermented carrot sticks. And instead of using a black tea bag, which I like to use for the tannins to keep the carrot sticks crisp, we experimented and used a few bay leaves. So I wanted to come back now after a few days and test these and see how they did and if they stayed crisp with the bay leaves. Hi sweet friends, I'm Mary and welcome to Mary's Nest, where I teach traditional cooking skills for making nutrient-dense foods like bone broth, sourdough, ferments, and more. So if you enjoy learning about those things, consider subscribing to my channel and don't forget to click on the little notification bell below. That'll let you know every time I upload a new video. Well, a couple of days ago, we started fermenting these carrots, and I'll be sure to link to that video if you've not had a chance to see it. In this one, I've done carrot sticks. Now, I've done carrot coins, and I've done carrot slaw, and now carrot sticks. And the reason I wanted to do carrot sticks was to show you that these are actually very easy to make, and they're wonderful for putting in a children's lunchbox and introducing them to probiotic-rich foods. They may not even know that they're fermented. They generally stay crunchy, and if they've been chilled, they're just delightful. And because they stay crisp, it's nice that the kids can also use them for like a little dip, if you have a little homemade dip that you've included in the lunchbox. And they're just a lot of fun. Now, we did something different with this batch. As I've shared with you in the past, a big complaint about fermented vegetables is that they're mushy. And yes, they are mushy. However, that can be overcome by introducing tannins into the fermentation process. And that can be grape leaves, like if you grow grapes and you have fresh grape leaves, or you live near a winery and you can get some grape leaves from them. Grape leaves are terrific. They're high in tannins and they do a wonderful job at keeping fermented vegetables crisp. Another option, which pretty much I think everybody has in their kitchen, are tea leaves. And all you need is one little tea bag, which I'll link to the video where I have the sliced carrots. And I just use a tea bag because that's normally what I use. It's very inexpensive, even organic tea bag, and very easy to come by. And I just put it down in the bottom of the jar, and it doesn't, you'll see if you go and watch that video, it doesn't really color the water, it doesn't affect the flavor, it works great. And it puts enough tannins into the fermenting liquid to keep the vegetables crisp without changing color or flavor. So I highly recommend using tea bags. And they're just plain old black tea bags, nothing fancy. Now, that said, I got a number of comments where some of you shared with me that you were maybe caffeine sensitive, or you didn't have tea, or you didn't want to use tea bags, whatever the case may be, and that you've made fermented vegetables using bay leaves. So I was very intrigued by that. So bay leaves are high in tannins, and so maybe that's a nice option if for whatever reason tea doesn't agree with you and you're worried about any of the tannins from the tea or caffeine, but you can even use caffeine-free tea bags. That's fine too. Whether it's caffeine-free or caffeinated, it's still got the tannins in it. But if you want to use bay leaves, it's certainly an option. Now, I will say bay leaves are a little more expensive than tea bags, so it might be it might be not as cost effective, but if that's an option that agrees with you, that's a smart thing to do to help keep the fermented vegetables crisp, if that's what you want. I think most people like the fermented vegetables to be crisp. Now, in the comments, some of you told me that you use between 3 and 5 bay leaves to keep your ferments crisp. This one's broken, but I just put 3 because they are a little expensive, so I just experimented with 3 instead of 5. So we'll see if 3 work. And so let's go ahead and open this. Now, I've just used one of these little mason top pickle pipes, I think they're called. But as I've shared with you in the past, for years, all I did was put a little 4-ounce jelly jar in here to weight things down. These didn't need to be weighted down because they were in very tight, being that they are cut as sticks. But if you do need to weight down your ferments, I would just put a little jelly jar in there. And then I didn't have anything like this. I would just put a canning lid and then the canning ring. And then I would just loosen it once a day to let out some of the carbon dioxide that builds up, that develops during the process of fermentation. And if the canning lid was stuck real tight, I would just use a little can opener to open it. Or sometimes I would just use a white plastic storage lid that you've seen that are made for canning jars. Any of that will work. Well, as I said, these have been fermenting on my counter for a few days, so let's see how they are. Well, they seem pretty firm still. Well, let's give these a taste. Now, these have not been refrigerated yet. I just took these off of my counter. I had them just sitting over there in a nice, cozy, warm place. So they've not been refrigerated yet, so we're just going to be tasting them at room temperature. But let's see. Oh, these are delicious. They're nice and crisp. And I want to assure you, because I know, excuse me, a lot of you have mentioned this, we do use the 2 tablespoons of the coarse ground sea salt during the fermentation process. That tamps down bacteria, and it also helps with some of the crispness. Now, that said, the carrot does not taste salty. Yes, the brine will be a little salty, but the carrot is not. It's perfect. And as the same with the carrot coins and the carrot slaw. And going forward, you can reserve some of this liquid in here so that when you do your next batch, you can cut back down to 1 tablespoon of salt and then a 1/4 cup of your fermenting liquid from a previous batch. Now, some people have told me they still go ahead and put in the 2 tablespoons of salt and a 1/4 cup of their fermentation liquid. So, you know, ferments, it's really an experimentation. It's really a learning process. And as I said, an experimentation process. You have to try different things, and you have to see what works in your kitchen, at your temperature, at your time of year, and what taste you like. So don't worry in the beginning when you're starting out. Experiment and try and see what works. These are just basic guidelines to get you started. And I do want to mention one other thing, because this does come up. Now, I have addressed this in my other fermented carrot videos, as well as other videos that I've made fermenting various other things. I don't like to use whey. Now, I know some of you do, and that's fine. If you like whey, you can use a 1/4 cup of whey and 1 tablespoon of the coarse gray sea salt. If you're using fine grain, then you would cut it back to 1/2 tablespoon. But I find whey, and some of you have shared with me you feel the same way, I find whey, which is simply something that's been drained off of a fermented dairy product like yogurt, that watery white liquid, you put in a 1/4 cup of that and then a tablespoon of salt, of the coarse ground sea salt, or a 1/2 teaspoon of the fine ground sea salt. I find it gives the ferment a milky taste, and I don't like it, because whenever you're eating fermented vegetables, you really want them to taste as close to pickled vegetables that you might buy at the grocery store as possible, especially if you're new to fermented vegetables and or you're introducing them to your family and you want to encourage the consumption of fermented vegetables. And then speaking of fermented vegetables, why do we want to consume fermented vegetables? Because they're rich in probiotics. And the more good probiotics, the more probiotics we put into our gut, the better our gut health, the more good bacteria we have. And scientists tell us the healthier our gut, the healthier we are. Well, I took another taste of these carrots, and I've got to tell you, this is a hit. The bay leaves impart the flavor of the bay leaf, which, if you're not familiar with bay leaf, it's almost, I find it to be a little citrusy, and I really like it. You know, I always add one to kind of my signature when I'm making bone broth. I always throw in a bay leaf. I really like the flavor that has been imparted by the bay leaf. So I highly recommend giving this a try. You know, if you don't mind using bay leaves, and 3 has worked perfectly. It's got a nice crunch to it, has a wonderful flavor. I really like it. So fermenting carrots with a bay leaf, or 3 bay leaves in this case, is a hit. This is a success. If you'd like to learn more about traditional cooking, be sure to subscribe to my channel, and then click on this video over here where I show you how to make sauerkraut, another wonderful fermented vegetable. And I'll see you over there in my Texas Hill Country kitchen. Love and God bless.